Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry
Yes.
weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti, and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada. And Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who without Mrs. B might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Good morning, and welcome. I always have a joy coming on every Friday, but I think I say it every day when I come on my show. But I just want to say that welcome to Friday. It is March 4th. Can you believe we are in March? And even more so, I'm thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to turn another age. My birthday's next week. I was like, oh my God. So it's just like these years are just, oh my God. I mean, you think about it, they're just going by quickly, even through all the different, let's just say, challenges. I don't want to say, we know the whole thing about the, pandemic and stuff, but just challenges that we've been all facing. And, how sometimes you think about, you say to yourself, you might be dealing with a challenge, okay? And you're like, wow, am I the only one dealing with this one challenge? It seems like I'm the only one that's dealing with this. And then you look around, and for 2.5 years, it's like, guess what? I'm not the only one dealing with this challenge. We're all dealing with this challenge. This is global. And I told myself, I said, this is another take. This is a whole different take. I'm seeing people, dealing with you. We're seeing everybody dealing with it in different ways. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, am I going to go right or left? Okay, you're going to go right or left. You're going to go right and say, you know what? I'm going to take this on. It sucks. Okay, just put it out there first. It really sucks. And just be honest with yourself. But I'm not going to let this overtake me. I'm not going to be, how people say, I'm not going to be the victim, be victorious in this. And you find different ways to change, shift, do certain things, be more creative. I know I found my creativity, which I never thought I had a lot of creativity after the 2.5 years. I was like, are you going to do it like this? Well, I think I better because there's no other way to do it. It's like, it was like, you just got to do it. Well, I want to go in person. Well, no, you can't do that. You got to do Zoom. Well, I really don't know Zoom. Learn it. Well, how do I get on shows? I can't get on shows in person. StreamYard. I don't know how to do StreamYard. Learn it. So that was just the thing for all of us. We had to really just come out of our comfort zones and start telling ourselves, we just got to learn. We got to get this right. You got to do some different changes. And through all of that, I'm thankful that I took the right instead of the left, because I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends and family took the other road and got in depression and, there's other things, which I sympathize and I'm there for them and I've been talking to them. But, it's because I'm glad that some of us took the right road so we can help the people that took the left road. But overall, it's a big experience that I think we all have been learning. And the biggest thing that I think that a lot of us has learned when I talk to a lot of people is gratitude. Really being thankful for being in this life, being thankful for saying, hey, I'm living. Because if you look at numbers, there's a lot of people that didn't pass through this 2.5 years, including in my own family. I always tell people in a 3 months time last year, I lost 16 family members, 16 with this. And devastating. I mean, people were calling me saying, Barbara, you gonna be okay? I said, I'm holding my own. I'm there. Thank you for calling. And that's nice because when you have that tribe of friends and just associates and people that are calling and checking on you, that really helps. It really does, because it tells you, hey, somebody's out there really thinking about me through everything that they might be challenging with. They took the time to say, are you okay? And that's what's one thing I want everybody to take from today. If it's a little lesson learn, you're going to hear a lot of different lessons because we're bringing on an awesome queen, Angela. She's coming on in a minute. But those are the lessons to take, is just say, you know what? Let me just make that little call. Let me just like that little messenger. Because some of you be like, well, I don't want to call anybody. I mean, we'll do a text. Okay. Well, I'll let you slide and just say, do a text message. Just some way you're going to reach out communication wise and just check on each other. Do a check-in. Maybe, 1 or 2 people a day. And just make sure they're okay. And then after you make sure they're okay, then just do a little extra. I'm going to say do a little extra homework and say, you know what, I care about you. I love you as a friend, as an associate, as a person in life. If some people's like, well, I don't know that person. Well, I'm going to tell somebody I love. I'm like, what? We just can't love humanity? We just can't love each other? Okay, is it that deep that now we got to sit there and separate? No, we shouldn't separate. Again, we should learn from our challenges that we've been handling for the last 2 years. So, that's my take. And I don't want to take, because this is not about the barber show right now. I mean, even though it's under my network, but this is, my biggest mission. One of my biggest mission is to help women and men, especially women, because I'm really drawn to helping women, is to make sure that they understand their purpose. And then from that point, they get the visibility that they need and require. We all need that visibility so people get to know who you are, not just to know your business and what you do, but just to know the gifts that you have in you, that you can just in the whole universe and make a difference and bring an impact and be that influencer. So I use my means that I created here to create the different shows during the week, so you can see the different people, individuals. And every Friday, because it's not new anymore. It's been on for 3 months now, this particular show. I mean, the network's been like 1.5 years, but I added this particular show because I wanted people to see how coaches and mentors and consultants, whatever the names that they take, are so valuable in life. They're so valuable. These are the individuals that help you get to where you're trying to go to with your objectives and your goals in life. And why not spotlight them? They should be spotlighted. So that's why I created this show called The Coaches Lounge with Barbara Beckley, because I wanted to spotlight different type of coaches. I don't care what kind of coach you are. I just want to bring you on so people get to know who you are, how important you are, and how much of an impact that you create. So I have a wonderful, and I call the Lady Queens because I look at Queens of Royalty. And this is an extra bonus because this is the month of the Queens. This is Women's History Month. And then next week we have International Women's, Day. So it's just, it's all about the women, okay? It's all about the women. Just to give you a secret, it's always about the women. But they just give us a special month. So we'll take it, we'll take the month. We'll just say, okay, you give a special month. But, behind closed doors, it's always about the women. But anyway, we love you, men. You know we love you. Hey, I'm married. I love men. But we got to give it to the women. So with that said, but I just don't bring on royalty. Just be like, oh, here's Angela. Here you go. No, we're going to make sure that you understand a little bit about this wonderful lady. We're going to get to know her, build a little relationship, just a little time we have. And then the thing that I'm going to ask, I'm going to do this before I bring her on. When you listen to this wonderful woman, when you see what she does for others, then if you know somebody or if it's you that needs this type of coaching that she does, reach out. I don't bring people on just to bring them on. I bring them on because I want them to get visibility, and I want you to have that build a relationship if you need it. If you need it, reach out. Don't sit back and say, well, I don't know anybody to do this. I just showed you somebody, so there's no excuses. So you're not going to put that disclaimer out there because a lot of people ask me, well, I don't know who to talk to. Hello, I just brought a coach on to tell you. So here we go. We're going to bring on the queen right now. Uh-oh, where'd she go?
I'm here.
I said, I hope I didn't lose her. I knew you were kind of playing tag this morning.
Yes, it happens all the time whenever I do one of these interviews.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you came because I was seeing their emails. I said, oh, wait a minute. She's been in. What's going on? I said, let me send her another link to make sure I sent her the right one. So thank you for staying on, lady, and thank you for coming on the show. I'm just really delighted. And this is a gift. I always thought this is a gift for me. I know it's a gift for everybody, but I'm a little selfish. It's a gift for me too, to have you on the show. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Like I said, I'm like the cheerleader, like, yes. So Angela, I always say, people come on sometimes on the show and they're like, okay, this is an interview and questions. I say, it's a relationship. It's a conversation. Just like we're sitting back, in the living room or somewhere, or just having a cup of tea or whatever you like to drink.
You're in my office right now, so
yeah, see, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So this is just just to have a little talk, but just so people get to know you. So Angela, I know that you're an intuitive life coach, right?
correct. Yes.
So I always ask people because I'm always curious. Because we always wasn't like these wonderful coaches, what we do and what we do for people. It was started somewhere in our mind. Something happened where it said, I want to do this in life. So can you just give us just a little backstory on how you got to that point?
I don't think my experiences gave me the opportunity to think, oh, I want to do this. It was more like the universe says, this is what you're going to do and figure it out. So that is what my path has been very narrow when it has come to how am I going to help people and share my experiences, my purpose with others, which has been about writing books and speaking, teaching workshops, and showing up for people in whatever capacity that I can.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey as being a life coach began about 18, 19 years ago when I started to study the body first and foremost, and what the body's all about, the connected tissues, how the body responds to the mental world or emotional life, and how things begin to manifest in the physical body, which then took me to different parts of the world, studying meditation and prayer and energy and qigong and tai chi and feng shui, and how we are just particles of energy vibrating at a certain frequency, and how that really begins to shape our life, our external world, as well as our internal life. And here we are as spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes, that is awesome. See, this is what I love already. How you, and this is what happens to a lot of us too, where it's like it's not just like, oh, I just think I'm going to be a life coach, or oh, I think I'm going to be, this virtual, producer, whatever that I do. There's a lot of things I do. It just happened. I just loved it. Like, no, sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes the universe talks and says, here, this is what you're going to do. And guess what? I'm going to make you brilliant in it.
Well, it's either I do it and figure it out, or I suffer. So like I said, it wasn't, I was at a pivotal time in my life where I needed to transform it. I needed to change everything about how I was operating for myself and how I was presenting myself to others. And then I was given the ultimatum of writing a book, and God said, you're going to write this book and you're going to share these experiences. And I was like, well, I don't even know how to write a book. And God's like, well, you're going to figure it out. So I got out my laptop one day, opened it up, and began to write my book. I had no idea what to do or how to do it. But I just followed my intuition. And I definitely know that we all have the gift of intuition. It just depends on how you want to use it, in what capacity, and how you want to share. We're all born with certain talents and gifts, like I've said, and how do you want to show up for different people? And I love that, I was watching your talk before you brought me on, and it's so powerful because this is the time that we need to show up for humanity, and offer either a bottled water, or maybe it's a spiritual message, or maybe it's a couple of bucks. How are you going to help the person in front of you? And that is our purpose, is helping the individual in front of you. We can think about this world and how much chaos it's in right now, because that's a very much a reality. But I can't fly 3,000 miles away and help somebody at this time, but I can help the woman in front of me. I can help the man in front of me, or the child, or even the animal. And I think that's what we're all asked to up level in our own lives to do for each other.
Yes. I love how you said that, Angela. And you're so, we're both in that sync. And whereas, like you said, if we can just make a difference where we're at, and people, sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, I can't do it. I'm not there, and all this kind of stuff. But you're right here now, where you're at right now, and you can do something, and that'll make a difference. You know how people always say, and I say it too, if I could just change one person, if I could just help one person, to me, that just puts a big smile on my heart.
Absolutely. That's a job well done. The other day I was given an opportunity I was getting into my truck, and this man was walking through the parking lot, and I wouldn't say he was homeless, but from his appearance, he was probably pretty close. And he said to me, first of all, he had the hugest smile on his face, and he said, "Hi, how are you today?" So he greeted me first, and I said, "I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day out here." And he said, "Do you happen to have a bottle of water?" And I didn't. My hands were full, and I had bags, I had yoga clothes, I had my computer, and I was on a mission. And I said, "I don't," and I didn't have a bottle of water on me. And right there in that moment, I thought, you know what? I might have one in my truck. I better look. And I crawled underneath the seat, because, we find a lot of things underneath our car seats when they take the time to look. And I had a full bottle of water, and I had no idea that was under there, but God said, you better look. And I did. And I said, well, here you go. I said, here's a bottle. And I said, I don't think that I've drank out of it, but if I have, I'm sorry. I don't have COVID, but you're welcome to it. And he said, COVID's the last thing that I'm worried about right now. He's like, I really want the bottled water. And I tell you what, my heart just exploded because I was able to give him something that he needed.
Yes.
And
That's powerful.
The true gift in that was that he continued to walk through the parking lot, and he stood on the sidewalk. And as I drove by, he stood there and he was just waving at me. And my heart was so full. And I thought, you know what? He gave me the greatest gift that day. It wasn't the bottled water. It was just the opportunity to give and to get beyond myself a little bit and to go, here you go. And so I think that's where we are as human beings right now and how we're showing up for individuals.
Yeah, I can just tell. I know what you're feeling, and it's just a nice thing to say. You know what? I gave somebody something that was what their need was, something that they asked for, and I was able to give that to them. And it's just, just really
absolutely provide.
Yeah, it's like wow. See, sometimes I tell people, sometimes God will give you that, and I believe God and Jesus, and I always say that they always give us that enter voice to say, wait a minute, or maybe check this, or because you never know, and you're thinking like, well, wait, I don't think it's there. Well, no, I'm letting you know, and
you better look. Yeah, God's like, you better look. And I wasn't going to let that opportunity pass me by, because when you show up and you're a blessing to others, the universe always has a way of bringing back something in some time, on some way, in some who knows?
You never know. Yeah. And the thing is, I know for myself, listening, that's the part. I said, okay, Barbara, don't be hard-headed right now. You need to listen. That's what I tell myself all the time, because you don't know where this is going. So you need to make sure you just do the instructions that's being told to you inside of you to do what you have to do. So awesome, Angela. That's wonderful. Puts my heart out, goes to him for one, and then for you to just be in the listening ear to help him. So yeah, that's awesome. That is,
and we listen with our inner ear. We don't listen necessarily with these two ears. We listen with our inner ear, and we have to really listen with our heart, because that is where our I think our inner wisdom really comes from. Is what does that inner voice say? That's the gift of intuition.
Yes. And that's where it starts from. So now, Angela, I was going to ask you now going into, what you do far as that coach, like being a transformational coach, that intuition coach, where is like the first step, like the people that come to you and are in need of your coaching, what do you kind of start off with them?
Well, first of all, we all have a story, right? And we can either let that story continue to represent itself and show up, or we can choose to transform it. But that takes awareness, that takes a willingness, that takes the willingness to stop whatever behaviors and patterns that you have that are no longer serving you, and heal those. So it takes it takes that willingness to show up for yourself first and foremost, and to go, you know what, I want to change my life, and not just change it. You can't just, I don't think that you can just change it overnight, because the subconscious mind in our stories are so powerful, because they've been imprinted within us. And that began from such a young age. And it takes a little bit of time to heal that part of your body, of your mind, of your thoughts, and definitely your soul, and activate your spirit. You got to really get that drive back to create whatever it is that is placed in your heart to create. Yes. And I think that gift is riding within all of us. But it takes a little bit of courage. It takes a lot of courage, not a little bit of courage. It takes a heck of a lot of courage. And it takes that inner power and strength to look at our own fears and go, Not today, you don't. And you just move right. You become a bull in a china cabinet, and you just move right through it. And that's how you get through your challenges. And it's
Wow.
tough. It is tough. I mean, I didn't decide to be like I said, a life coach because this path has been easy. When I decided to write my first book, A Charmed Journey,
Mhm.
I was homeless. I left a relationship and I had nothing. I had zero. And I got into my car and I just said, God, what do you want me to do? And I was going to go to the park, to live in the park, because I was thinking, well, here I am, this life coach, and I've gained all this knowledge over the years, but you don't really know it until you have to live it. And then it becomes wisdom. And that is another level of really deepening your faith and your trust in God and how you are going to change your life. And so that is where I had to come from in order to become the life coach or a spiritual mentor and author. So my experiences, I had to dig pretty deep, and it wasn't a glorified experience. There wasn't anything that was pretty. So, I can't sit here and say, well, I got the opportunity to sit on my balcony and drink coffee every day and just write my memoir. That was not part of the process. I wrote this memoir while I was underneath a tree in the park going, God, what do you want me to do and what? And God's like, yep, you're going to do it.
See, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it, Angela. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes, I think the saying that your ashes turn into beauty, and sometimes what you deal with turns into the beauty of it because you're showing how even yourself as a coach, we're going through our own stories in life and getting through that, I always say the low valleys to the high valleys of your life. And then you really like, so when somebody comes to you and say, hey, Coach Angela, I don't know if they call you Coach Angela, but hey, Coach Angela, you're like, well, I'm just dealing with this. And you probably don't understand. And you're probably looking at them like, they just don't know. They just don't know.
I clearly have a pretty good understanding of not everything, but quite a few. I can pull from, quite a few tools out of my tool bag and say, well, this is how you maneuver through this obstacle.
Yes. And then that's why I really, like I said earlier, Angela, I started this show weekly because it's one, I always tell people, yeah, you're an author because we're both authors. Yeah, you're a speaker. Yeah, we're both speakers. But what the coaching part of it, the mentoring part, the transformational part, that's what I wanted people to see more of what you do or people do, because you're not only just saying, hey, I went through this, like you just said, under that tree, writing that book, like you said, but then I'm taking that experience and my talents and my wisdom and the research I've done and helping other people that's dealing and move them forward. That's huge. That's huge. So that needs to be spotlighted.
Well, thank you. And, when I was in high school, the reason why I was successful in track and cross country was because I had coaches that, stood next to me and said, listen to my voice, just focus on what's in front of you and keep going and run your heart out. So I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do for others is I can stand next to you and I can give you tools. I can give you some words of wisdom, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to show up at the starting line and run your own race. And you get to decide on how you want to finish.
Yes. And that's so true. And I'm so glad you said that, Angela, because a lot of times, people come because, I'm a consultant too. I consult people with their business for their social media platforms and stuff, and really have them understand and maneuver through that. But I always say, I start off like, I'm here for you. Mm-hmm. I will give you the tools and the wisdom that I know and that I research, but I need you to do one thing for me and do the work. Because if you don't do the work, you're wasting your time and you're wasting mine, because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't just kind of do the work. And that's what's so important to get to the other side of it. Yeah.
Yes. there's no easy way around your fears. There's no easy way around, making those tough decisions. You're going to have to do it. And like you said, you have to do the work. And the work is so much more than just, telling yourself, I can do this, I can do this. It's part of the work. It's part of the work. But the other elements are, forgiveness. The other elements are going into that parts of self that might be a little bit dark, or you don't want to go there, or you want to, you're so used to putting those skeletons in the closet. Well, you better get in that closet and dig out those skeletons and dress them up and become friends, because if you don't, those will chase you.
I like that tweak of that. You better become friends with your skeletons, because either way it goes, they're there. You got to face them. And you're so true, so right. Because sometimes facing those skeletons is part of the process of you going through the coaching and going through your, what you're trying to deal with to get to the next level. So skeletons. Yeah, a lot of my skeletons, I have said, hey, how are you doing? I introduced myself to them. And then
and they're like, oh, we already know who you are.
I just want to make sure, because I know you know who I am, but I got to go back to know who you are. So we got to do this. Because now I got to deal with you.
Absolutely.
I love it. That's
for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. So.
So Angela, what I like to do is I like to do like a 30-second, just you giving any last thoughts to the audience. And usually I take myself down for 30 seconds and then I'll come back up and then we can tell everybody how they can contact you. Okay?
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry, Angela, you can go ahead. Sorry.
So I guess I was going to say that, right now with the way that the world is, there are a lot of fears that are coming up. And I just invite everyone to stay in the present moment as much as possible and just reconnect with your inner self and your highest self and that internal voice, and just stay really present and just notice what shows up, because, the universe is a pretty wondrous place. God is always showing up for each and every one of us. And now's the opportunity to go deeper into what you believe in is to be true.
Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that so much. And I just made sure that your website is just showing below so people can reach this wonderful lady, this wonderful queen, as I call the women in the world. And she is making such a big difference in other people's lives. And so that's why I'm like, please, you know how they say, treat your parent right, treat your husband and wife right, treat your coach right. That's what I want to say.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're in your lives for a reason. You brought them in because somewhere in your mind you had to say to yourself, I need some encouraging help, some transformational in my life, and I need somebody to help me through that. And I trust, and I'm going to say right now, Angela, I trust Angela to take me through that. So go to her website, look at all of the services that she does. She is tremendous. And Angela, I just really appreciate you just being that, making a difference. And you are, just to let you know this, because some coaches need coaching too. I have 3 coaches.
Absolutely.
Coach. So we need coaches too, but then we need to inspire and encourage each other at the same time. Because like you said, sometimes it's not an easy road. We're just going to put it out there sometime.
No.
So I encourage you, lady, to keep on striving with the people that you're helping in this life, because they need you badly. They really do.
Thank you. And thank you for the validation. That's you're my message today. Absolutely. So I appreciate God working through you.
Oh, thank you. And we're going to bring you on like anytime you need, if you write another book, because I know you have a few books out there, you speak and everything. If anything's coming up, like I said, I'm here to give you any visibility so people get to know what you're doing, in the world and keeping up with what you're doing. Because just in case somebody might need Angela. So we're here to provide that.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. And we will see you at the next Coaches Lounge with Barbara Beckley. Again, if you do want to come on the show and you're a coach or a consultant or a mentor, and we want to shine a light on you, please you can contact me under the www.barbarabeckley.com, and we could put you on the schedule. Thanks again, Angela. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Barbara. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say I'm just so, can't wait. Because you know I always bring on, and I call every woman queens. I have a queen bee today that's coming on the show that you're going to get to know this wonderful person. She is a wonderful impactor. Now, I don't say that about too many people, because when you become an impactor, that means that you have a heart of gold that you want to touch and help other people in the world. It's like, it's always not even about you anymore, which it shouldn't be when you create an impact. But this woman, she walks it, she breathes it. You see her everywhere. It's just contagious. It's contagious. And I just met her a month and a half ago. And I said, I have to bring her on the Diamond Factor Experience show, because she is just a heart of gold. I'm telling you. So you're going to meet this woman. Her name is Irene Vaksberg. And she's going to tell you some interesting things about when it comes to dealing with pain in your body and doing some health awareness. And I always tell people, I say, you know what? Always be open. Always be open, because it's not always about just taking medication. And she's going to kind of talk a little bit about that. And she's going to talk about her story, because I always tell people, I like to bring people on the show that can get deep and talk about their story, so you understand where they came from, where they're at now, and why they do have to create that impact in other people. So I'm going to bring her on right now. Hello, lady. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So much love for you.
Love for you too, lady. You just don't know. You are just an angel. And like I said, I always call the women queens, because we're royalty. You know, each and every one of us is a queen in our own empire. You know, some people always ask me, well, Barbara, you call these lady queens. You know, I understand about the Queen of England. And so I said, I get that. And I honor them. But each and every woman is a queen of their own in what they do. So that's why I have to give you that. You know, I salute you for that. So thank you for coming on the Diamond Factor Experience show today to have this conversation with you.
I'm so excited. Thank you. Right back at you, Queen. I'm right back at you. Together we're stronger. So we have to stick together, queens.
Yes, we do. And I love that you said that, Irene, because it's, you know, I always tell people, let's collaborate, because you never know. You can just be even bigger than what you are when you collaborate with other like-minded people. And I look at you as that, Irene, and I love this relationship that we build and having you on the show. So let's get started. Let's get people to get a chance to know you. Now I know you, but I want everybody else to know you.
I'm ready. Let's rock and roll.
Well, you know, I always say that there's always, just like I said a little earlier, there's a story behind the entrepreneur or a business owner. And I know you have your wonderful story. So can you share a little bit with that got you to starting the GotHealth?
Yes. So, I have to go back a little bit before I get to GotHealth. The journey has been interesting, and one of immigrant child coming from Russia. My parents brought us here in 1979 to this land of opportunity, and my father said, I brought you here, now it's up to you. Go get it done. No excuses, no, obstacles. Like, yeah, there will be, but they're not for you. You're just gonna knock them down, because where we come from Russia, we would not ever have this opportunity to even have a chance to knock them down. So I took it literally, right? My parents sacrificed so much for my sister and I, and here we are, United States of America. And my dream was to be a hairdresser, and I knew that at 11. My dream was to own a salon, the American dream.
Okay.
To make my father, my mom proud, to bring us here, and even bigger dream, to see my dad's name in lights, because he's no boys, 2 sisters, me and my sister. So, the name doesn't continue; it stops kind of with us. And so I accomplished all of those things. I've owned a salon. I have created $100,000 income for myself as a single mother. The road was not easy, but it was absolutely amazing, and I would not change it for the world. And 10 years ago, it's kind of going 11 years ago, my life changed in 7 seconds. I was on the way to celebrate my birthday, and a gentleman fell asleep behind the wheel and T-boned us. And my life was never, ever the same. I lost 70% of my salon that took 30 years to build. I lost myself, my mindset. I lost faith in God, faith in myself, faith in everything you can imagine. What I was left was lost of business, chronic pain, anxiety, depression, doctor's appointments, neuropathy. My body was in so much chronic pain that it gave up and began to shake in spasms. And I lived on epidurals and cortisone shots and hip injections. And I never want anyone to hear the words from the doctors, we're done. We cannot help you anymore. We have no more options for you. We don't know how to help you anymore. I was tested for MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And it's terrible to say, I actually prayed for those diseases, because then I would have a label that doctors didn't think that I was just pretending or being, or, when you say, oh, I have this, people look at you differently. Yeah. So it was a difficult 5 years for me.
Yes.
Just
I know.
remembering it.
Wow.
Wow.
Really not to, because I want you to continue, but first I just want to just give you so much, admiration for you and how you took on, you were in one place, everything was going. And that's why I always tell people, you have to be grateful for what you have, because you never know, in a matter of minutes and seconds, you never know what's going to happen in life. But you took on, even though you went through the journey of, because it's going to happen. We're human. You're going to get depressed. You're going to have things. And then with the accident that, on a health physically, harmed you too, you could go in that dark, like I say, that dark cloud. But see, what I love about you is that with all that was going on, Irene, you took the other path. And I want you to talk about that, because a lot of people, sometimes they don't take that path. But
it wasn't easy. It was very difficult 5 years. I fought depression, and I fought the dark noise in my head. I felt like I was in a prison of my own body and my own mind, because I never would go out. It was terrible. I'm sorry. Alexis, can you take Emma, please? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She gets very excited. And so going on 5 years, I sat in a chair and I prayed my last prayer. And I told God that I was done living the way I was living, meaning I could shake for 5, 6, 7 hours, and then I would have to go to emergency room to get morphine drip.
Oh, wow.
And that was my life. And I could not see myself living that way and being a burden for my daughter. She helped me. She took care of me. And that's not who I am. Prior to the car accident, I salsa 3 times a week. I did Zumba class. I hiked. I was like the happy hour bee. And all of that was gone. You know, I was ready for love. I was looking for that, you know, tall, dark, and handsome. And I got none of it. I got doctor's appointments and you know, dates with doctors that didn't care, you know. So I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. God doesn't hear me. God is not here for me. And he's always been there for me. And I've been in many difficult situations, but this was the lowest because it took away my passion as a hairdresser because the business was just crumbling, was left very little. And on top of it, it was a mental, it was emotional, and the physical. And you, in order to understand, you actually have to see my video, how I lived. And maybe we can share that later or give a link to it so to understand the depth. So I'm sitting here and I'm praying and I'm saying, I made peace to go. Please take me away. And then I decided, me being this crazy Russian woman, that I was going to give him another chance. And I said, I'm tired. I can't live like this anymore. I'm tired, not just for me, but I'm tired for my daughter. And please, if there's somehow there's like, you know, you decided to listen, I want something drug-free, non-invasive, no chemicals, no side effects, affordable, because I was in debt about $15,000 on my credit card. I can't even remember how much cash I spent. That if it's a business, it's with heart and has a mission for others before, you know, itself. And I want it to be led from the top. And not even few months into it, my friend started sharing about this crazy socks that has helped her with MS issues, with, you know, stability and mobility, and, you know, some of the things that comes along with it. Didn't want to hear it because doctors told me there was no hope for me. So, you know, we believe so much, we put so much into the doctors that I stopped trusting myself and trying to figure out what, you know, other options, even though I slowly was doing it, but doctors said, there's nothing for you. So then she sent me a pair of socks. This little pair of socks. This is actually the original pair from 5 years ago. It's going to frame it. And I put them on, and in 7 seconds, they gave me my quality of life back.
Wow, Irene. You know, it's just phenomenal how, you know, 7 seconds, like you said, with the accident, happened just like that. But then now 7 seconds or less, you put on, you know, some technology, neurotechnology that was developed, and now you can walk again. You have that. Your life is turning around again. Where you have
I couldn't believe it. I took them off and I would start shaking. I sat there like for 20 minutes laughing and crying. And it always touches my heart because this is literally a gift from God. I didn't understand it at that second. And I called her and she's like, are you on the floor again in pain? I'm like, no, I'm jumping and dancing. And she's like, what do you mean? It's like, I put your socks on and it feels like God came down and kissed my feet. And he did.
And your whole body. Yeah, because it stopped you from that. So now I want to get a little bit into, because now that you showed the sock, I want people to understand on this a little bit more, because, you know, being part, because this is the health industry and bringing awareness, because now you're bringing awareness. Well, your friend brought awareness to you, helped you with that, to deal with certain pains and suffering from that accident. And now, can you explain a little bit? Because, you know, some people will just try to still reach out to Tylenol and stuff like that, which it depends on what you're dealing with. But believing in this neurology wearable technology, let's explain a little bit of how that works.
So medicine has its place. You know, I'm not diagnosing, and I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it. I'm just sharing what has changed my life and what I experienced. So this is a preparatory pattern. So drug-free, non-invasive, no chemical, no side effects, affordable, and it does have a mission with purpose and heart. So I just want to say that God is good and does answer your prayers at exactly the time that you need to be answered with what we need, not what we want. I promised that I was going to share the testimony. So what this does, the moment it touches the bottom of your feet, it triggers response in your brain stem and your nervous system and puts it in balance. So it's nothing to do with any issues, everything to doing being balanced neurologically. Pain comes from our brain, right? So when the pain is subside, think of this like a fire in our brain, and this is the water that calms it down. So every single person benefits from it. It does not affect or interact with any treatments that you do, and actually in some aspects makes it better, because if you're having surgery and your body is already in that place of healing happening, right? The technology doesn't heal anything. Your body does by being in that neurological balance, right? Starts kind of healing its own self. Look, it's not just the socks, it's diet, it's sleeping, it's exercising, it's internal and out, right? It's all together. So it's not replacing anything except maybe your pain meds, by adding this tool to meditation, to positive thinking, you know, swipe your potato chips for apple, right? So it's kind of holistic approach.
Wonderful, the holistic approach, and I love that. So you just said about the medication. So with that, because I know some people, you know, would think that, okay, because we're so immune to that, you know, society, especially in the world of the doctors and everything, they always want to prescribe something to you, and they wouldn't probably even talk about, and I'm just being honest here, they wouldn't even talk about what you're talking about. That can be another way, a holistic way to help you in that atmosphere. So I know one of the mottos that, you know, with under the company, I know that that's part of your entrepreneurship, is that wellness belongs to everyone. I love what they say. So how do you fulfill that vision when you're guiding and working with individuals to be more focused on their health walk?
I tell them, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I get so excited that
I know.
Because it's a really, you know, it's a personal journey.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Wellness belongs to everyone. And how do I help people? I tell them take baby steps. This is a process of, even before the car accident, I had to change my diet. I had to become healthy. I became vegetarian, and at times vegan. You know, exercising. And I don't believe that you need to go to the gym. I tell people, like, listen, walk for 20 minutes, right? Move around, do some stretching, listen to your body, listen to what works for you. You know, I tell people, add more vegetables, take away a few fried foods, right? Start your morning with cup of tea, maybe not coffee, right? Start with oatmeal, not muffin. So it, you know, and it all it starts. I believe baby steps better than no steps, because when we try to take a big steps, you know, everybody's taking some really big steps right now. It's January 5th, 6th, and everybody is in the 90-day lost weight challenge. How about a lifestyle of healthy eating, right? What works for me does not work for you. So that's kind of how I guide people. You know, I'm not a nutritionist. I can only share what I know and what has worked for me.
Yeah. So I love how you said this, take the advice that you have to do what you have to do for yourself, as you're saying. And, you know, if it's taking on what you did, you know, you found that's helping you in your body, you know, but you have to do other things too to keep that moving, like your diet and exercise and moving around. Now, one of the things that I love to see you, and I have to tell everybody, please go on Instagram and TikTok and look at this lady. She is not only just walking, you know, and just doing what she does, but she is dancing. She's enjoying life. I be doing that salsa with her sometimes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Doing a little.
Duet me, girlfriend. I want to see you. Queen, my girlfriend. Queen, duet me.
You
Let's
do it.
do it.
You do it. You be like da 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 da. And I was like, and it seemed like just seeing you, because I know your story, and now we all know your story on how you were to the point where you didn't even know about, this technology, and now you're just enjoying life. You're just enjoying life. So you came from, going through that dark road to now you just full of life, and you just, like I said before, I feel it. It's like as soon as I met you, I could just feel it through the video. I could feel it through when we were talking, that you just have that just energy. So can you give, I always ask when people are like that, because like I said, it's very few that you could just, go through and be like, you still got to keep dancing. You still got to do what you have to do. What just makes you, do that all the time? And then, like I said, it's contagious for others.
Oh, it brings me back to the car accident. Oh, no, it's people ask me all the time, my God, you're always dancing. You're always so bright. But because I know how it feels to be taken away, right? Like dancing was my life. Salsa was my life. Music is my life. Every day, every time I dance, it's a win for me. And showing the doctors, they don't see it. They don't know better, right? That how destroy a life, right? Like words matter, right? So I dance because I know how it feels not to be able to dance. I prayed to dance. I prayed to hike. I just prayed for being without pain for an hour. Forget about 24 hours. I prayed not to shake for like 3 hours. I don't shake at all, right? I can be without this technology for 30, 40 hours. So every single step that I take, it means so much to me. It's a healing process. So, and I want to give that to others. I want to give that message that you might be in a dark moment, but it's a moment. Just, I appreciate it now because I learned from it. I was in a pity party before. Now I'm just celebrating.
Yeah, and that's what I'm glad that you said that, Irene, because a lot of people can get in that stage of, this just happened to me, whatever, trauma that a person went, because everybody goes through different traumas at times. And you can go down that road of a pity party, the party that you shouldn't stay long at all, really. So, and it took you some time to do that. So, the first advice, what would be the number one, the first advice of a person that that's going through that might have went through a trauma or accident, and now they're just really struggling?
Stay in faith. I know I just told you a story of losing it, right? But, try to now doubt that the universe, God hears you. And, hindsight 57, I went through so much. And I also tell people now, everything that you need is within you, right? Which I had to dig deep, really, really, really deep to have that last prayer of giving up, but even more strength. I had to dig really deep to want it to still live. So it's within you. We don't see it. We feel like we have an empty cup, but it's also refillable.
Yes.
And we have to refill it, right? We have to refill it with positivity, even more so when that difficult moment. I know it's hard. It's easy for me to say now because I've been through it, and that's what I had to imagine, right? That my cup actually is overflowing. So hold on. Don't give up.
Yes.
Your moment is coming. I promise you. Your moment is coming. And I'm sitting here. God has an incredible mission for me. He didn't take me away yet. I was ready to go. So you're not ready to go. We need to do a lot of things. Your story matters. So fight for it so then you can inspire someone else.
I love it. I love it. I love it, lady. So I always ask this question. You just have so many different powers, but what is the one out of your list of superpowers that you have?
That's the only question that stumbled me. It actually made me giggle. I have to say kindness. And because my dad installed that in us, you be kind and do kind things, not because you're waiting for applause, but because it's the right thing to do. Do it because nobody sees it, right? Do it because you truly want to help another human being. And that's he installed in us. And I believe that I'm a kind person and I help because I want to not because I have to or waiting for some, you know, notoriety or applause or anything. I do it because if I can, I will absolutely do. So kindness.
You know, there's one thing I love that you said that, because that is one of your, I see that as one of your superpowers, because like I said, you have many.
For sure.
And one thing is you can say, yeah, you're kind. It's another to show it and to act on it. And that's what you do, Irene. You just don't just say, you know, I'm a kind person, because anybody can say that, but you show it. You show up in it. So again, I want to commend you for that, because
thank you.
I feel like with what you're doing, you know, what you dealt with, and the product that you have that you're pushing this to make people know that there's another way through pain, you know, through your pain and suffering, that superpower comes in. I think that's what makes you unique out of other people.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, we should thank my dad.
Yes. Oh yeah, thank your dad. Yeah, he pushed
thank
you.
your dad.
You know, it always takes our parents, right? And just to commend you, yeah, because you said you want that name to live on, and you've been working hard, lady. You've been doing that. So now, just to let everybody know, because you know, the audience wants to know how to contact you and to obtain the service and products that you do. So give us a little of that.
So you can go into my Facebook page, Irene Vaksberg. I'm like Barbara said, I'm everywhere. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, 3 different accounts, GotHealth, _ Vox Live, Socks Goddess, and IV Vag Inspiration. I'm on LinkedIn. It's not my place to be, but I'm rocking it there because, you know, it's so proper. I'm bringing some shine, light shyness into that group. And, you know, my phone number we can put down, email. I'm everywhere. So it's pretty easy to find me, and I would love to connect. And, you know, many missions came from this mission. So I'm doing a lot of great things for veterans. So, and chronic pain community also. So, you know, together we're stronger. So yeah, connect, let's collaborate, let's change lives together in many different ways.
I love that.
One is through socks, but it could be this, right? Conversational.
Yeah,
I'm all about
I like
community.
that. Let's change lives together. I love it. Love it. So as Irene said, you can contact her everywhere, but really just if you want to, you know, get the product and you know people that need that from Irene. Now, there's a certain website they can go to too?
Yes. So it's GOT Vox Live. Let me VOXX Live, GotHealth.voxlive.com. So that's the website, but I prefer that you connect with me first so I can explain to you in details, you know, to show you some videos. This is an educational product, right? You cannot just put it on. Well, it's as easy as that, but you know, there's a protocol involved and commitment to it. And for me, I don't want you to buy just to buy it. I want you to buy it and you use it properly so I can give you results. And I hold your hand through the whole entire process. So we become really good friends. As much as you want me to, you know.
Yes, definitely. So Irene, before we sign off, I always want to just, you know, take myself down for maybe 30 seconds. And I want you to give any last words that you want to tell the audience regarding you or your product. And then we'll sum up after that. Okay.
Awesome. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here and listening to my story. The way I end my lives every single morning is letting you know that wherever you are, it is just a moment. Celebrate in it, and giving up is not an option. And if you're not celebrating right now, just know it also just a moment. That means you have to learn something from that struggle and the pain, and you're going to become even a better human being going through the struggle, and then you will use it to inspire others and, you know, continue taking baby steps. The glass may be feeling empty, but it's also refillable and it's also overflowing. So don't give up on yourself. Everything that you need is within you. So go out there and live your true life and your dreams. You got this.
Awesome. Oh, this is a wonderful way to end this beautiful, beautiful interview that we had together, Irene. Thank you for just being that star Thank you for being that impactor, as I said earlier, because you are. Thank you for being so kind that you don't only just say it and people say it, but you show it in everything that you do. So keep changing. Keep changing lives, lady. Keep changing lives.
Never stopping.
Yes.
Dancing and putting socks on all of you lovely people. Come
The
dance with me.
salsa.
Come dance with me. Come dance
Love
with
it.
me.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
You take care, lady.
Bye.